documentary about Henry VIII and his 6 wives.
Henry VIII could also speak Latin and French.
Henry's first wife was Catherine of Aragon. Her parents were King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel of Spain. She was the youngest of their children. Catherine was originally married to Henry's older brother, Arthur, who died. Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon were married for over 20 years. They had a daughter named Mary. Henry was very upset that he did not have a male child. He was so upset that he divorced her.
Around the end of their marriage, Henry found love with Anne Boleyn, one of Catherine's ladies-in-waiting. Anne was the daughter of a knight. While Catherine and Henry were still married, Henry and Anne were secretly married. Soon after, Henry and Anne had a child named Elizabeth, who would grow up to be Queen Elizabeth I. Henry was again upset for he did not have a son. He blamed Anne for not having a son. He turned his feelings to Jane Seymour, one of Anne's ladies-in-waiting. After Anne did not have a son, behaving terribly, and being accused for many crimes, she was beheaded. Henry then married Jane 10 days later. Jane's father was Sir John Seymour of Wolf Hall in Wiltshire. Jane never had a coronation and was never officially crowned Queen of England. It was rumored Henry did this because he did not know if she would have a son. Jane had a male child, Prince Edward. Jane died 12 days after her son was born. Henry did not marry anyone else for 2 years. Henry asked Hans Holbein to paint the Duke of Cleves' daughter, Anne and Amelia, all the way in Germany. Henry was pleased with Anne's portrait, and Henry made arrangements to marry Anne of Cleves. Henry thought Anne was very ugly. He instantly thought she was hideous. Henry often called Anne the Mare of Flanders. They were divorced after a few weeks of their marriage. Henry's next wife was Catherine Howard. Catherine was the cousin of Henry's second wife, Anne Boleyn, who was beheaded. Catherine was a lady-in-waiting. When they were married, Henry was 49 and Catherine was a teenager. Henry was overweight and could not walk. Catherine was more into men her own age. Catherine was also very silly. She was emotional, flirty, wild, and irresponsible. She did not understand that consequences come with actions. Henry spoiled his wife and called her a rose without a thorn. After months of their marriage, Catherine was arrested for she had committed adultery. Catherine was beheaded for her crimes, just like her cousin Anne Boleyn. Catherine Parr was Henry's last wife. Catherine was widowed twice already. She also had no children. Catherine was not in love with Henry, but with Thomas Seymour. Thomas Seymour was the brother of Jane Seymour, Henry's third wife. Catherine was a very loyal wife to Henry. Catherine Parr was a good stepmother to Henry's children, Mary, Elizabeth, and Edward. Henry died 4 years after their marriage, and Catherine outlived him. Once Henry died, Catherine happily married Thomas Seymour.
The fact Henry VIII had 6 wives is probably why they are still famous today and are often talked about more than other kings and queens.